Let's now turn our attention to the distribution sector. Again, the distribution sector is a sector where almost every 5 or 10 years we come back and revisit the fundamentals and try and look at what are the steps to be done. But I think the key issue is, are we really charging the tariff which is equivalent to the cost of supply, and what are the steps that the government is taking now to address issues related to the distribution sector?
So I think if you look at the distribution sector, what comes out is that for the state discoms, they continue to show a gap per unit, which is the difference between the average revenue realized and the average cost of supply. We've seen that this gap used to be about 60 paisa in 2011. Thereafter, it increased to about 80 paisa. But since then, it has kind of tapered off. The reason is that we saw tariff hikes in 2012 and 13. And as a result of that, the gap kind of reduced. Now, this gap, consequently, because the tariff hikes have come down, and the other problem that plagues them is the average technical and commercial losses or the efficiency losses in the system. That continues at a high level of 25%. So both these translate into losses, annual losses of about 70 to 75,000 crores per annum. In 2012, the government implemented the financial restructuring package, and discoms of 8 states went in for this package. Under this package, a part of the short-term liabilities of the discoms were converted into long-term loans backed by the state government guarantee, and a part of it was converted into bonds held by the state government. However, when we analyze the 8 states, or the discoms pertaining to the 8 states which went in for this FRP, we find that while the subsidy collections from the state has improved, which is a positive, but no needle movement on the average AT&C loss front, and the tariff hikes which began with a bang immediately after FRP, ranging to about 19-20% per annum in 2012 and 13, really fizzled out in 2014 and 15. Consequently, these states continue to account for a bulk of the losses, which is about 75% of the total annual losses, and also a bulk of the debt. Now, because the state government has been participating in the funding of some of these discoms, it becomes important for us to look at the ability of the state government to support these discoms. And when we do that, we look at a situation where 6 states, if you look at the entire country, are at risk because the losses in these 6 states continue. These are largely the FRP states. So losses here continue, and the moratorium under the FRP is coming to an end or will come to an end in the near future. On account of this, the debt pertaining to these 6 states consequently becomes risky.
So we've seen this debt go up from about 2.2 lakh crores to 4.4 lakh crores in the last 5 years. And we have always considered this debt to be risk-free, given the support that has been available from the state governments. About 50% of this 4.4 lakh crore debt is to the 8 FRP states. And 6 weak of these 8 FRP states, where the ability of the states to support them going forward is low. The debt is about 1.9 lakh crores. And if adequate steps are not taken in a timely manner to support this debt, the 1.9 lakh crore could be at risk.
So in our analysis of banking sector, we have always factored in a strong support that is likely to come from the state governments, and which is why the quantum of debt that was restructured under FRP, we do not attribute any likelihood of that turning into an NPA. I think the expectation will continue to be that the both state governments and central governments continue to articulate their support and provide that support which is needed for this critical sector of the economy. In conclusion, I would say that yes, we have seen some challenges re-emerge in the power sector over the past several years again and again. That essentially means that a lot more still needs to be done for the sector going forward. We are clearly seeing a concerted government effort which has led to several steps that have been taken so far. We also believe that the current steps that are underway in terms of amendment of Electricity Act, the new scheme that the Prime Minister introduced last week around the Deen Dayal Gram Jyoti Yojana, all of those schemes are aimed at addressing some of these fundamental challenges that continue to plague our sector, and those steps are welcome. Obviously, there are some additional steps that are equally needed in terms of making the economics work once again, in terms of making sure that the open access is provided, in terms of addressing some of the fuel availability and the issues that that Sudip talked about. I think the Rajat's issues related to the financial sector continue to be important, primarily because unless the fundamental power sector challenges are addressed, I think the banks and the financial institutions will continue to be exposed. We will continue to monitor and watch what happens in the power sector and see how these steps translate over a period of time. Thank you.